There was a time when this franchise didn't have to explain itself. Winning was assumed. Greatness was routine. Championship runs felt inevitable, not hopeful. But dynasties don't collapse overnight. They fade slowly through hesitation, mixed timelines, and decisions that feel reasonable in the moment but devastating in hindsight. Today, this team is better than it was earlier in the season. The energy is different, the ball is moving, the urgency has returned. There's belief again. But belief alone doesn't win titles, direction does. And that's where the real problem begins. At the center of everything is the superstar, an all-time great, still elite, still dangerous, still capable of carrying a team on the biggest stage. But time has quietly become his toughest defender. Every season matters more than the last. Every missed opportunity hurts more than it used to. This franchise knows that. Everyone knows that. Which is why the last few years feel so confusing. Instead of choosing a clear path, the organization tried to live in two realities at once: compete for championships now, while also developing for the future. Preserve the past without fully letting go. Build the next era without sacrificing the current one. On paper, it sounded smart. In reality, it created tension everywhere. The symbol of that tension became the young wing. Young, explosive, athletic, full of upside. On an aging roster, he stood out immediately. He was supposed to be the bridge, the player who could grow alongside the system while eventually taking pressure off the superstar. That idea made sense. The execution didn't. From the moment he arrived, the expectations were conflicting. The system demanded movement, discipline, and instinctive reads. It asked players to sacrifice touches, cut without the ball, defend with precision, and trust that the game would reward them. But the young wing wasn't built that way. His game was downhill, power, isolation, physical dominance. He needed rhythm, freedom, and consistent usage. Instead, he was asked to fit into a machine that prioritized flow over force. Sometimes he bought in, sometimes it worked, but it never lasted. Eventually, possession slowed down, the ball stuck, the offense lost its rhythm, and frustration crept in from teammates, from coaches, from the player himself. That's where the coach enters the story. A proven winner, respected, intelligent, loyal to his system. For years, that system had delivered championships. There was no reason in his mind to bend it for one player, especially a young one. So when the young wing struggled, minutes disappeared, roles shrank. At times, he vanished from the rotation entirely. Not because he lacked talent, but because trust was never fully established. Development doesn't happen in fragments. It requires patience, consistency, and belief. Instead, the young wing experienced something worse than criticism: uncertainty. One night he played 30 minutes, the next he watched. That kind of environment doesn't teach, it fractures. Behind the scenes, frustration turned into resentment. The young wing felt unseen, the coach felt challenged, teammates felt the tension, and the locker room absorbed it all. At one point, an incident before a game raised serious concerns. An injury was listed, but whispers followed. Was he really hurt, or had the relationship reached a breaking point? A comment from inside the locker room said everything. If the coach doesn't believe in him, why would he play? That wasn't just about one night, that was about years of misalignment. The truth is, this partnership was broken long before it became public. And yet, the front office did nothing. That's where the real failure lies. There were opportunities, real ones, moments when the young wing's value was high, when teams around the league were calling, when established stars were available. Veteran players pushed for help. They wanted reinforcements. They understood the urgency of the window. Management hesitated. They waited for the perfect deal. They waited for development to click. They waited for harmony to appear. But basketball doesn't reward waiting.
Now, the value is lower. Other teams know the situation is over. The leverage is gone, and what was once a premium asset has become a complicated one. This isn't just about one player. It's about the cost of indecision. The franchise had multiple high draft picks over a short span, a rare opportunity for a team still trying to win championships. Instead of consolidating those assets into proven help, they tried to grow their own stars. The result? Years lost, momentum stalled, and a superstar forced to carry more than he should have at this stage of his career. Meanwhile, the league didn't wait. Younger teams built depth, faster teams built continuity, smarter teams committed fully to a direction, either winning now or building later. This franchise tried to do both, and in doing so, failed at each. Now the tone has shifted. The team is better, the urgency is visible, but the honesty is unavoidable. The coach recently admitted what everyone already knew. This team is no longer guaranteed to contend every year. That wasn't weakness, it was reality. But it also sounded like a message, not to fans, to management, because time is running out. The good news is, all is not lost. The young wing's contract is flexible. The team still controls future picks. There are movable contracts. There are paths forward, if they're willing to act. The question is no longer about development. That chapter is closed. This is about commitment. Does the franchise believe the superstar deserves one final real push, or are they content letting the era fade quietly? Doing nothing is the worst choice. Standing still wastes the only asset that can't be replaced: time. A bold move doesn't guarantee a championship, but it restores clarity. It tells the locker room, the fans, and the league exactly what this team stands for. And clarity matters, because legends don't ask for patience, they earn purpose. The young wing will move on. In a different system, with clearer expectations, he may still become the player many believed he could be. Sometimes talent needs a new environment to breathe. That doesn't make anyone a failure, but refusing to accept reality does. This moment will define the final chapter of this era, not by wins or losses, but by intent. Either the franchise commits fully to the superstar's timeline, or it watches history close without one last fight. The ending is being written right now, and the only thing worse than losing is never choosing how you lose.
The pressure builds not just on the court, but in every corner of the organization. Every conversation in the front office, every coaching meeting, every trade rumor carries weight. In this environment, mistakes aren't forgiven, they're magnified. Every indecision becomes a headline, every hesitation a debate. The fans notice, the players notice, even the league notices. And while everyone debates the past, the clock keeps ticking. The superstar's career is finite, and even greatness has its limits. Minutes lost here, seasons wasted there, they cannot be reclaimed. The organization's choices in these moments define not just wins or losses, but legacy itself. The locker room reflects that urgency. Younger players, like the ones who were supposed to learn, sit in limbo, their roles unclear, their minutes inconsistent, their confidence shaken. Some thrive despite the chaos, others stall. The young wing's struggles have created a ripple effect, a reminder that in elite sports, fit matters as much as talent. Even the most gifted athlete can be marginalized if the structure isn't aligned. The coach understands this. He has won. He knows the importance of systems, of discipline, of reading the game and reacting faster than opponents. But systems are only as effective as the players who inhabit them. When a player doesn't fit, stubborn adherence to principle can backfire. And sometimes the very person who built a dynasty has to confront the reality that adaptation isn't betrayal, it's survival. Meanwhile, the front office faces impossible decisions. They hold the keys to opportunity. Trades, draft picks, contracts, all of it could reshape the trajectory of this season and perhaps the next. But inaction has been their constant companion. Waiting for perfection, hoping for magic, praying for alignment, it has cost them years. And now the luxury of patience is gone. Across the league, the chatter is relentless. Competitors watch every leak, analyze every asset, and calculate how they can exploit the uncertainty. They know the young wing is available. They know the situation is fragile. They know the team is vulnerable to both success and failure, depending on how decisively it moves. And there is no middle ground. Half measures are a trap. Moves made without purpose will only prolong the cycle of regret. What is required now is courage. The courage to package assets, to make a bold trade, to commit to a strategy that gives the superstar a genuine chance at glory. It may not lead to a championship, but it restores direction, it restores clarity, it restores belief. Every option has risk. Every decision has consequences. Bringing in a high-usage scorer changes rotation.